Welcome to One Brothas Mind, and I am KD Smooth. Today we will question and challenge popular information and views from a B1 perspective, while we expose the real facts you need. We do this to strengthen your logical, critical, and discerning thinking skills. Because in today's world, hard choices are mandatory and they come with consequences. So you need all the information. And at One Brother's Mind, we do this from a B1 Yeshua the Christ follower's perspective. Now, if you're not ready, you better get ready with Katie Smooth at One Brother's Mind. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Katie Smooth coming back at you with another quick live report. This is going to be a quick one, y'all. Just wanted to chime in on one of the current issues that is going on right now. This one, the formula shortage. And specifically, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to chime in. I wasn't really going to do a report on this issue because, you know, what's true doesn't really need to be said, but I actually came across a short video of a pediatrician and worse, even worse, a black pediatrician on social media, you know, spewing some ridiculousness. Just blew my mind. So that gave me more inspiration to go ahead and do this video. Basically, family, this dude and most of the other doctors, to be honest, they work for Satan. I can't say it no other kind of way. Okay? I really can't. And I'm going to explain why I say that here in just a moment. But before I do, family, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to One Brother's Mind, where we provide you with the information and facts you need. Okay. The primary reason why I say most of these doctors and pediatricians work for Satan is you got to understand how our system is set up. We're ran by corporations. In fact, our country is a corporation, but I'm not going to get into that. But we're ran by corporations. And corporations don't want you to do anything but what they tell you to do, because as long as you're doing what they telling you to do, they're making money off of you. Okay? And it's rendering you pretty much helpless without them. Okay? So that's the general concept. But real quick, I was looking through just browsing through some of the mainstream media reports about what are mothers' options when it comes to this formula shortage. And it's some of them are okay options a little bit, but most of it is laughable. But I'm gonna list a few of those right off the top. One of the options, the first options they say is mothers can try to get or purchase breast milk from other mothers, because some mothers produce way more breast milk than they need for their infant. And so they're saying, you know, try to connect with a mom or mothers in that situation. Some others that are doing it are actually listing their breast milk for sale, and but that raises, it will work according to the mainstream media. That will work and help get you through, but that raises the questions of, as far as like, what every mother's breast milk is not exactly the same. Okay, it has a range of different chemical and vitamin balances in it. Okay, in other words, every mother's breast milk is unique to the mother. Okay, so no, going in, if you decide to use other mother's breast milk, which according to the mainstream reports and doctors, that's a good option. Your baby is getting a different chemical, vitamin, nutrient combination than they would be getting from you. Okay? Understand it. And it's different than that combination is also different than the artificial formulas as well. Do your research. Let me say that up front. Do your research, mothers, on all of these options that I list. You have to. Don't just do nothing what the doctor says or nothing what. Don't just do what anybody else tells you, including me. Do your research. Don't just believe what the satanic doctors are saying or myself or anyone. Do your research. Look into your options, research them, and then pick the option that you feel is best for you to get through this time or going forward. Let's say that. So also mainstream reports, mainstream media, pediatricians say that if your baby is at least 4 months old, and this is, understand everything that they're saying, this is like general or average information. Your baby is unique. There's no other baby like your baby. So their recommendations, anybody's recommendations, will work for the average babies and not cause problems. But understand that going in, your baby is unique. Keep that in mind as well, mothers. But they said if your baby is at least 4 months old, you actually can start to go ahead and introduce purees. Basically, certain vegetables, and probably vegetables first, and then maybe some fruits. Raw, at best, organic vegetables. Blend them down to mush, to all the way to just mush and water. Basically, just a little bit of water or no water at all. Mush them down all the way to where they're just practically almost liquid form. Purees, and make a puree out of it. And they said if your baby is at least 4 months old, you can look to go ahead and introduce purees that will help, give your baby nutrients and vitamins and give them the feeling of being full at that time. But again, that's only if your baby is at least 4 months old. Okay. They also, and this is where I get into why I say most of the doctors, your doctor, your pediatrician, most of them, they work for Satan because they're pushing this notion of do not use any so-called old school baby formulas. And the particular doctor and report that I saw somebody post on social media, this guy was talking about, well, they're imbalanced. They're not balanced, so they may harm your baby. He actually, I'm like, wait, what? Which that could be true. But if you do your research, you will find the formulas, the old school recipes that work for decades that are not going to really harm your baby. But anyway, this pediatrician literally was on a mainstream media report talking about don't use no old school formulas. And his reasoning was they were imbalanced and could harm your baby. In other words, he tried to demonize formulas that human beings used for decades before they made artificial formula. Did you hear me? So, yeah, that dude worked for Satan. And any doctor, in One Brothas Mind's viewpoint, any doctor, because doctors supposed to have taken an oath to do no harm. Any doctor that'll tell you what not to do and not give you a reasonable, healthy, workable alternative, but the artificial alternatives, the formulas, they work for Satan. It's hands down. You should, if y'all can't figure that out, ooh, man, y'all got bigger problems. But, oh my God. Really? Okay. So again, mothers, you have to do your research on any and all of these options. And then ultimately it's going to be your decision to decide what is best for you and your baby. Don't leave it up to anyone. Don't leave it up to One Brothas Mind. Don't leave it up to no jacked up satanic doctors that work for the corporation. They lying to you. I know many of y'all already know some of the artificial baby formula companies. They had various lawsuits and settlements and stuff for things that have been wrong with those formulas even recently, but I'm not going to get into that. Y'all better do your research. Okay. Like I said, most doctors work. If you go to the doctor and you say, I don't want to use no other mother's milk. My baby's too young to use Paris. What are my other options? If they don't hand you a baby formula recipe, an old school baby formula recipe, and go, well, here, use this. This will get you through, or at least for now, a balanced baby. If they don't hand it to you, they work for Satan. It's just really that out. Because you have to ask yourself, mothers, what did mothers feed that couldn't breastfeed? What did they feed their babies before there was artificial baby formula? That's the general question you have to ask yourself. And if your baby's doctor won't give you that formula, the balanced one, let's say that, it works for Satan. There's no other way to look at it. Like, you sitting there, you literally don't have formula and food for your baby. At least artificial formula. And they're not giving you an option. The best thing they do is go hook up with another mother. Well, you may not want to do that. Is it possible? Is it doable? Yes. Get milk from another mother and all that is doable. It's not the most ideal option, but it's been done throughout history. I mean, y'all should remember and recall during slavery time, most white women who had babies, they gave their babies to black slave mothers and had the slave mothers do the breastfeeding. Okay? Which, in my opinion here at One Brothas Mind, that actually helped their children grow up much healthier, because I can't scientifically prove it, but most black mothers' breast milk, I believe, is far more nutritious and just better for babies than most white mothers' breast milk. Okay? Y'all can hate me if you want, but it just is. Okay? That's my opinion. All right. But these satanic doctors that y'all are listening to or whatever, pediatricians, it's put it this way. It's almost as if, let's say today, Uber, Lyft, and cars all for some reason just disappeared, just stopped working and just disappeared. You couldn't, no auto transport was available of any kind. It just all stopped, boom, today. And the mainstream, the government and stuff, they said, well, we're going to fix this problem in a short time. We're going to get the cars back. But until then, they give you some jacked up options that still benefit them. We're going to send wagons around. We're going to do this and that. So make sure you use these options, as opposed to every other mode of transportation, all the way down to just walking, that human beings have used for thousands of years. They go, no, don't do that. Do the specific things the options that we are recommending. Those are the best options, because the other ones, they'll make up reasons why walking is bad for you. Wait, human beings did that for thousands of years. How is that all of a sudden bad for you? This is what they're doing, basically, in a nutshell. So don't bend over for the soap, man. Again, ask yourself, mothers, what type of formula, what did mothers feed their infants before artificial formula was created? In fact, I got a little info for you. When was artificial formula created? So-called, according to a lot of mainstream reports, in about 1865. A chemist named, I'm going to jack this guy's name up, so forgive me, y'all. A chemist named Justus von Liebig created the first baby formula, a liquid version that was made of a mixture that included cow's milk, okay, in 1865. And then at different junctures in history, coming up to the present, things were slowly, improvements were made. Like that formula, so many years later, they figured out a way how to dehydrate it and make it into a powder, and so on and so on and so on. Okay? But depending on how old you believe the world is, some people say like about 6,000, some people say longer. Human beings have been on this earth for far longer than that and been having babies and been raising them, feeding them. Breastfeeding was number one, of course. And then for the mothers that could not breastfeed, they probably at certain points in time didn't have any other options other than letting another mother breastfeed their baby, which that's, like I said, one of the mainstream recommendations. But again, that comes with stuff, because whatever is inside the mother that's breastfeeding, good or bad, that's going to come through, or stands a chance to come through, her breast milk. Okay, that's the general thing. Okay, I'm not saying major diseases or nothing like that, but I'm talking about as far as nutrients, vitamins, that mother's diet, things of that nature. It's going to come through in most cases. Yeah, y'all hear what I'm saying. But anyway, so there are other old school formula options. Look into them. Do your research. There's been, reports that are not mainstream. I repeat, reports that are not mainstream. And there's been some reports of old school pediatricians or elderly pediatricians suggesting lamb's milk. But do your research. There's also, like I said, historical formula recipes. It's not hard to find them, but don't just do an internet search and find one and go, okay, I'm going to do this. Okay. Once you find a recipe, a couple of those recipes, whether you get them off the internet or go talk to your grandmother. She knows one. Most grandmothers know one of these recipes, especially black grandmothers. They know them. They almost know them by heart. Okay? But get those recipes and try to confirm them. Check with 3, 4, 5 different grandmothers, yours and others, and get a consensus. Build a consensus. Okay? And then you may be on to something that will at least hold you over until you can get some formula or what have you. But y'all, again, I just wanted to do a real quick live on this. There's these the things that these mainstream doctors and these people, basically, in one sense, I don't really totally blame them, because they're just regular people like you and I, and they went to medical school, and they were taught / brainwashed with everything that our Western medical schools teach them. And they were required to learn this stuff. And then after, to practice, they're legally required to push exactly what's in the textbooks and what basically the corporations and our government wants them to push medically, and the insurance companies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? But again, if any student goes through medical school and doesn't wake up to the fact that a certain portion of what they're learning is BS, is harmful, is satanic, but they've gone through medical school and learned what they can. And then once they graduate, they continue their own studies, their own research to try to find other options for the satanic parts or the non-helpful or healthy parts of medicine that they've identified. That's what doctors should be doing. Okay, these basic things are good, but then here's a category of things that we were taught that are suspect or just bad medicine. Let me research and try to learn alternatives for that stuff. So with my patients, I can at least offer alternatives and then let the patients decide, because ultimately it's the patient's decision. But by doing that, I am fully informing my patients so that they are able to give full informed consent. I'm not withholding options and withholding information that actually may be better for them. If y'all understand what I am saying here, okay? So again, y'all, just a quick live on this. If y'all even if y'all disagree, drop a comment. Let's chop it up in the comments on this one. I want to hear. I would put some copies of recipes up on the screen, but you know how it is in these YouTube streets, man. They're a corporation. They work for the corporations. All of them in the same game. So they got so-called freedom of speech now locked down, where on most platforms you don't have freedom of speech, and especially on YouTube. So that's all, y'all. I saw that doctor report. It pissed me off so bad. So how you call yourself a doctor and you ain't giving mothers real alternative options? And again, do your research. Do your research into the artificial formula and the lawsuits and things. But that's what they telling everybody to wait for. Okay. Do your research. Do your research. In fact, the plant, think about it. The plant, one of the plants that was actually shut down. Research why it was shut down. It will blow your mind. And the government has worked the deal out. The plant was shut down legally. Okay? Because they were doing and producing stuff that was harmful. Let's just say that. And the government done went back and said, nah, y'all open this plant back up and go ahead. We need some more powder up in here. Oh, my God. But most of y'all sitting around just waiting on, oh, my goodness, just waiting on this legally shut down plant to produce the stuff you need to feed your baby. Come on. I'm sorry, I can't even do this one with a straight face, y'all. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So now, two more things quick. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe to One Brothas Mind. Also, if you're going to look to use other mother's breast milk, quick note, do your best to try to find a family member or a close relative in your family that you might be able to purchase some of their breast milk. You stand a better chance of getting breast milk that is more closely similar to yours than not. I would think. I'm no doctor, but just a suggestion. Also, don't sleep on this. This whole thing going on with, you got the Ukrainians, the support we're giving them, the support we're giving immigrants or non-citizens at the border. Y'all do know that they sent and have always sent massive amounts of supplies, including baby formula, to these non-citizens. Now, I'm not against trying to help anybody out. People that need help need help. But again, the point is they're non-citizens. So the first, at One Brothas Mind, the first people that should be receiving assistance and help are citizens here in the U.S. They should be making sure that our supplies are not damaged. Our supply amounts are not damaged in any way that's going to be harmful to our citizens. And then what's left over, yes, we got excess. Use that to help, everybody else that you can help. You want all babies, but you don't take most of the formula away from the citizens to help non-citizens, if that makes sense to y'all. It's kind of like if any of y'all been paying attention to what India did due to the Russian-Ukrainian war, and Ukraine and Russia being two of the largest, if not the largest, wheat producers in the world, or wheat exporters, let's say that. A lot of governments, including the U.S., turned to India, because India is about third as far as of the largest wheat producers in the world. And at first, India was like, oh, okay, yeah, we got you. We ready to sell out. We ready to sell all this wheat. Boy, we got, yeah. And then within just a couple of days, they did a complete 180. The government in India was like, hold up. The government in India caught a hold of the wheat producers in India and said, oh, no, you're not. You're not about to sell or export all of this large amounts of wheat outside of our country when we and our citizens need this wheat here. That's what every country is supposed to do with all of their products. You're supposed to make sure you have enough for your citizens first, because your citizens are the ones that you're responsible for providing for. Your citizens are paying the national taxes or costs or whatever is involved. Okay? But you notice, that didn't happen here in the U.S. There's truckfuls of formula sitting over in Ukraine, Poland, and all this stuff right now. While you can't go to the store anymore and find your local store and get what you need. Don't sleep on that, y'all. So just an extra little nugget. Again, family, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let's chop it up. And I hope this helps some of y'all get your mind right. And again, the whole question of what did people do for fill in the blank? Right now, this video is baby formula, artificial baby formula. What did human beings do for this fill in the blank before the current product or technology existed? Always ask yourself that question. No matter what shortage comes in the future as we go forward, always ask yourself that question. What did people do before this thing that is now short or not working? What did people do before this? How did they function? How did this get out? And you're going to be able to find a lot of the answers that you need to find to be able to function. So that's it. Real quick one, y'all. Trying to help somebody, but that black doctor pissed me off. This is more of a rant for me than anything. I'm like, how could you actually, how can you put out public information and you ain't actually providing all of the helpful public information and call yourself a doctor? Are you serious? This is what they're doing, family. This is what they doing out here. They man. Wow. So, okay, I'm going to let it go. That's it. Y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. Let's chop it up. And this concludes this broadcast for One Brothas Mind. We thank you for joining us. And as a part of the new Black media, B1 choices are mandatory, and being on code is required. But never fear, Yeshua the Christ is with you always. Shalom.